Hello, welcome to the Turret of Pleasure here in the Enchanted Kingdom of Hermione. I'm your host and the Lord Chamberlain of the Enchanted Kingdom, Zipgun. We're going to continue on what's the seemingly endless trek through the Miles Davis box sets that the good folks at Columbia Legacy have been putting out over the years to commemorate the genius of Miles Davis. And I guess they figured, well, let's do this right once and for all. And by God, they did it for the most part. All of them are good. The one we're going to talk about today is entitled Quintet 1965 to 68. Once again, the iconic Miles silhouette. This one is numbered 4, which I guess means it was the 4th in the series. As usual, it is in the metal clip format. This metal clip has sort of a distressed metal look to it. There's silver ones, there's a blue one, there's a gold one. This one's the industrial metal one. And it's got the cute little photo on the front. These are all really, really well done artistically, graphically. They have various... Now, this one I like. They have a variety of faults. And some of them have... They all have the CDs in individual jackets, pockets, if you will. But not all of them give you the names of the tracks that are on the CDs. This one does, which is great, because then you can find stuff a lot more easily. However, this also has a gigantic booklet in it. And if you want to find out the discographies, the people that actually play on each songs, then you kind of got to go digging. This one's right at the end. Some of them are right at the beginning. And, it's there's no real consistency to this. In a perfect world, Britannia's going to hit the... Oh, that's going to void the warranty. Britannia has just hit a mine. Not good. Anyway, so this covers the period, as they say, 1965-68, almost entirely the domain of the Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, Tony Williams quintet, which many say is, the quartet. Certainly Wynton Marsalis made a career out of trying to sound like that quartet. In the early days, anyways. Now, for me, my interest in this is slightly tempered and limited by the fact that, as you may have guessed, there's no guitarist in this band. This box does feature some guitar players on it towards the end, and but it's still not. The guitar is more of a texture thing. This comes with a few extra takes, but again, like the other ones, like disc 1 doesn't have any. Disc 2 has 2 alternate takes. Disc 3 has a rehearsal take. First and second alternate takes of hand jive. Alternate take of Madness. Alternate take of Pinocchio. Alternate take of Tio's Bag. So there's a few. And they're all complete takes, and they're all well worth hearing. Certainly, if you've immersed yourself in these records, which so many have, there will be some real delights. As the thing gets going, we get into territory like Circle in the Round, which featured guitarist Joe Beck, and George Benson shows up for a song or two. And then towards the end, you get the outrageous thing of Ron Carter being asked by Miles to play electric bass, something that Ron Carter didn't like doing. And if you watch the Miles doc that's on Netflix right now, he claims that he quit because of this. Well, maybe he just didn't like playing it, because he plays electric bass all over this. 1968. He plays a lot of electric bass. In fact, the last 5 tracks, it appears, Ron Carter seems to play electric bass. So, yeah. Benson, Joe Beck. Bucky Pizzarelli plays on a song. Fun. Wurlitzer electric piano, electric harpsichord, chimes, celestes. The palette broadens for sure. Started out as just a regular jazz quartet. Miles began to expand his palette. And then finally, towards the end, of course, things really started to change. After this box set's period of study ends, Ron Carter would indeed quit. Dave Holland would join. Chick Corea would join. I think, is Chick Corea on this? I think Chick might be on some of this. But for the most part, this is the classic quintet. And not really a lot to tell you other than this is great. If the classic quintet thrills you, then you want it. I don't see. No, Chick Corea doesn't appear to be on this anywhere. So this is the hard line here. There is a lot of stuff. Where am I here? Here's the album. Nice. Luckily, they have an album list at the end. So this contains the original albums of ESP, Miles Smiles, Sorcerer, Nefertiti, and Miles in the Sky, and Feel. Not all of them. Feel di Kilimanjaro, half of which has Dave Holland and Chick Corea on it. So I think this only has a couple of those tracks. In addition, there are tracks that ended up on Water Babies, Circle in the Round, Directions, and The Columbia Years. I can't remember what's on that. At any rate, this is the last word on what some of us would call the shorter quintet. These were about $100 each when they came out. I didn't look this one up again. I'm tired of reading about how these are worth $500. If you can find one in your local used CD emporium for even $100, it would be worth it. But these are great. This one is in keeping with the general quality of these, which is to say, I mean, these are basically A+. There's nothing really to criticize other than the location of the discographical information, which is a tiny quibble. It's brutally accurate, the discographical information, and it's brilliant. It's as good as you'll ever hear jazz. And there's not really a lot to say about this other than it's fantastic. The package is fantastic. And if you like this era of jazz, post-bop, I think they call it, you want to hear it. You want to hear every note on this. Some of it succeeds. Some of the experiments don't quite take off. Circle in the Round kind of goes on for a long time. And that's why it wasn't released initially. It came out on the Odds and Sods record entitled Circle in the Round, which was put out just before the album Directions, which was also an Odds and Sods record, and both were put out in the mid to late 70s when Miles was in his cocaine-induced retirement. Both those records are surprisingly great, considering the hodgepodge that they are. But it's nice to have all this stuff together in context, in the box, and it's great. It's basically, I think this is all studio recordings. Oh, maybe not. No, I think it is. Because I don't think Miles in Berlin is on this. Which is interesting because Miles in Berlin came out just after Wayne Shorter joined the band. It came out, I do believe, mostly only in Germany. It came out not too terribly long after Miles in Tokyo, which was the tour he did with Sam Rivers, and which only came out in Japan, and which did end up on the box set, 7 Steps to Heaven box set. So it's a little curious. I can say that Miles in Berlin is not completely essential, Although if you like this quartet, you probably want it. And maybe they just didn't. Maybe they thought 7 CDs was enough, 6 CDs. At any rate, there you have it. Not a lot more to say about this other than if you like this stuff, go out and buy it. If not, borrow it. Or I don't know if this is on the internet or not. Some of this stuff is. Um, you know, fantastic music, fantastically packaged, fantastically played by fantastic musicians, half of whom are still alive. Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, and Ron Carter are all still alive, which is nice because they're still out there making music, although they're getting pretty old. Anyways, celebrate with me the joy and the genius of Miles Davis. We got more of these to look at. There's not a lot to say about some of them. This is essentially a collection of the Quintet. Excellently done. Kind of boring, but there you go. What do you say? You run out of superlatives. Anyways, that's it for this one. We'll go move on to some more later. Miles Mondays. I Am That Sucker. I bought all of these. Therefore, I Am That Sucker. I'm glad I did. They weren't cheap. They mostly came out around Christmas time. Shrewd marketing by Columbia. And as a result, I ended up getting these a lot for Christmas. Anyways, that's it for this one. Take care of each other. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification button. Gonna sit here and watch the Britannic sink. And I always get the name of this ship mixed up. It's either Britannic or Britannia. I think it's Britannic. Britannic, there we go. Sister ship to the Titanic, just in case you're wondering. Love to watch them sink. Makes me feel good. We'll talk to you later. Take care, everybody.